Question number 1 this week comes from Troy Long. And Troy says, Brian, love your podcast and channel. I like how you're willing to put your opinion out there no matter how unpopular, but you still stay objective at the same time. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Troy. I do appreciate that. I catch a lot of crap for some of my opinions. I really do, but it's all right. I'm not worried about it. My question, how good does The Rise of Skywalker have to be to bring some of the fan base back after The Last Jedi? I worry no matter what people won't give it a chance. What are your thoughts? Thanks for the question, Troy. And it's a legitimate question. That is a completely legitimate question, and I think it's something that I've talked about on this podcast before. But now we're at a point where we're getting really close to The Rise of Skywalker. We're, 2 months out? 2.5 months out? Not even. And there's still people complaining about The Last Jedi. There's still people tearing their clothes and screaming at the sky that Rian Johnson ruined their childhood. And you're entitled to your opinion. Just as I'm entitled to mine. Like Troy said, no matter how unpopular it is, I'm entitled to mine the same as you're entitled to yours. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong for not liking The Last Jedi. I did enjoy it. But you're right. As much as I enjoy Last Jedi, even I have to admit, it was a very divisive film. It split the fan base almost into a galactic civil war itself. And you can tell people didn't like The Last Jedi based on Solo's numbers. A lot of people were boycotting Solo. Don't know why. It had nothing to do with Last Jedi. Because they didn't like Last Jedi. They were just boycotting Lucasfilm in general. And look what happened to Solo. And now that movie flopped, and we're not getting an Obi-Wan movie, and it's going to be a series, people are complaining about. Can you guys believe that people are still complaining that we're getting an Obi-Wan series instead of a trilogy of films? What the hell? Anyway, so that's people were pissed after The Last Jedi. And I talked about it on the last episode, the character assassination. The character assassination of Luke Skywalker that I didn't think was there. Some people believe it is. That's fine. But you're right. There's a lot of people who are saying we're not going to watch The Rise of Skywalker because Lucasfilm is making it. How good does The Rise of Skywalker have to be? It has to be pretty damn good. It has to be pretty GD good to really bring people back. There's different ways you got to look at this, all right? There's people online who say, I'm not going to go see The Rise of Skywalker opening weekend. They're going to go see Rise of Skywalker opening weekend. Not all of them, but a good majority of them are all talk. Opening weekend's going to come along, and they're going to go, you know what? I'm going to go see it. I'm going to see if I can get tickets. And by then, it might be too late. Tickets might be sold out. We don't know. So you have people who are going to say, I'm not going to go see it. They are going to go see it. You have people that say they're not going to go see it and won't go see it until they hear word of mouth, until their friends go see it. Oh man, you got to go see The Rise of Skywalker. Holy crap. It completely blows away everything. And that's if it's good. But Rise of Skywalker has to be the, capital T, capital H, capital E, the Star Wars film. This is the conclusion of 42 years of Star Wars storytelling. This is the conclusion of a 9-film saga, 3 trilogies. And they've already said this film will wrap up not only the sequel trilogy, but the entire trilogy of trilogies. This movie has to blow people out of the water. This is the one. This is Lucasfilm's last shot at getting it right for everybody. Do I think they're going to do it? I sure as hell hope so. I'm excited for it. And to be completely honest, I know there's different people in charge between Lucasfilm and Marvel, but after seeing the way they wrapped up Endgame, I think they could pull it off. Now, granted, Marvel fans and Star Wars fans are two completely different beasts. You cannot please all Star Wars fans, no matter what you do. There's not a damn thing you can do in the world that would make everybody happy. You're going to piss people off no matter what. There's going to be people pissed off that Disney's making another movie just so they can be pissed off because George Lucas isn't making it. That's all it's going to be, just because they don't like what came before. There's going to be those people. And no matter how good you tell them it is, no matter how good it is, this isn't going to happen. But this movie, even if if, like I said, this will never happen, if it was the best Star Wars movie ever made. And the vast majority of fans believe that. There's going to be a sect of Star Wars fans. No, forget that movie. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not, and they're going to, I mean, they're only hurting themselves because they're missing out on it, you know? But this movie has to be the one to bring everybody back. And look at what they've done, right? J.J. Abrams, I know a lot of people didn't, I don't want to say they didn't like it. There were some people that didn't like The Force Awakens because of, XYZ. But for the most part, Force Awakens was, most people were like, okay, that wasn't bad. That was a Star Wars movie. That was cool. A lot of people think it was a carbon copy of A New Hope. Don't see where, I mean, there's some similarities there, but it's nothing that I think it was a carbon copy. And people were like, okay, it was nothing new in it. And then The Last Jedi comes out and it's all new stuff and everybody gets pissed off. But with The Force Awakens, it was not universally loved, but it was, I think, universally liked. It was a good Star Wars movie. And it was J.J. Abrams. It was responsible for bringing it back. You come to Episode 9 and you get rid of Colin Trevorrow, you go back to somebody who did an all right film. In the trilogy, right? You go back to J.J. Abrams. I think with J.J. coming back to do this movie, he's already said he's not retconning anything Rian Johnson did, so you might as well get that out of your head now if you're one of those people. But I think now that he's back in the driver's seat, I think a lot more stuff's I think it's going to be even better than what Colin Trevorrow could have done. I really do. Especially considering that JJ has learned lessons from when he did Force Awakens. He started this trilogy. He's picking up with the same characters that somebody else has progressed a little bit, and he's already said he's going to honor what came before. But I think he's going to wrap it all up. Because remember, J.J. Abrams, first and foremost, is a Star Wars fan. He is a Star Wars fan. And there was a lot of fan service in Episode 7. I mean, it wasn't packed, but it was in there. And I think he knows with Episode 9, this is a responsibility. He came out in an interview recently, I don't remember who it was with, but he came out in an interview recently and said that he initially said no to Episode 9, just the way he did with Episode 7. And finally he started thinking about it and was like, no, I have to do this. I have to finish what we started. I have to get this, I have to see this through. So he came back. The only thing that gives me a little bit of pause with The Rise of Skywalker with J.J. Abrams, and the only thing that gives me pause is that he's not, when he was doing Episode 7, when he was doing Force Awakens, at Star Wars Celebration, he was excited. He was passionate about it. He wanted to talk about it, but he couldn't yet. He was so excited. Who wants to see a teaser trailer? And like everybody lost their minds. He was so excited. He had so much energy. Then you fast forward to Celebration this past year where he's talking about The Rise of Skywalker, and he seemed so subdued. He didn't have that kind of twinkle in his eye like he did with Episode 7. He was more like, hey, we're here. Let's answer a couple of these questions very vaguely. Here's a trailer. See you guys later. Like that was really it. You could tell he wasn't as giddy as he was with Episode 7. Now, granted, Episode 7 was the first time he'd ever done a Star Wars movie. It was the return of Star Wars. It was a different time for Star Wars. And this time around, when he's coming out to talk about a movie, he's done this before. He's done a Star Wars movie before. The kind of novelty and the newness of it has worn off. I don't know. Maybe that had something to do with it. But he doesn't seem as excited about this movie as he did The Force Awakens. That's the only thing that gives me pause. But it's only just a small pause. So I'm hoping that he is getting ready to deliver an endgame level Star Wars movie, if that makes sense for you Marvel fans out there. I'm hoping he's getting ready to deliver an endgame level Star Wars film. That's the best way I can describe it. And from what we've seen of the trailers, knowing that Palpatine's coming back and everything like that, I'm really excited to see where this is going to go. And I'm getting excited. I'm getting giddy. The more I read of the canon material between episodes 8 and 9, the more excited I'm getting. The excerpt I read of Resistance Reborn the other day from Rebecca Roanhorse, the excerpt they released, great excerpt. It was a great little segment of the book. I'm really looking forward to it. So the more I read, the more excited I'm getting for episode 9 and to see where we're going to end up with this. And I can't wait. So I hope that answers your question. The Rise of Skywalker has to be. I'm gonna go a level above good and say it has to be great. It has to be at least has to be the best out of this sequel trilogy. It has to be better than Force Awakens. It has to be better than Last Jedi. For a lot of people, it has to be a hell of a lot better than Last Jedi. For not as many people, it has to be better than Force Awakens. This has to be the Star Wars movie. So I hope that answers your question, Troy. Let me know, guys, in the comment section below. What do you guys think? How good are you? Are you going to go see The Rise of Skywalker no matter what? Are you one of the people that is kind of taking pause and saying, I don't really want to go see it just yet? Let me know, guys. I want to hear your thoughts.